How many of y'all out there thought that I was overreacting in 2016? If you're familiar with the Undertaker Freak channel from way back when, the video I made about Trump in 2016 when he won the election and I declared my official intention to get the fuck out of the United States because I saw the writing on the wall and I had seen the will of the people, which is supposed to be paramount in the United States of America, get trampled and spat on time and time and time again. How many of you out there said that, oh, he's just overreacting? Just like every other teary-eyed lib out there, every other teary-eyed leftist. Look at all these women on TV crying at the results. Look at all these people at the convention hall crying at the results. Boo fucking who. And then some of you even tried to gaslight me and say, well, 4 years later, come on, look at the results. What did Trump actually accomplish? What did Trump actually get done? All those things got overturned by courts. All those horrible things were stopped before they could even start. SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, one further example of just how poorly the government of the United States actually works for its people. The Supreme Court of the United States. Donald Trump stacked the Supreme Court of the United States in the favor of the Christian right, of the do-gooders who think that Donald Trump was their savior to save the world from sin and filth, homosexuality, contraception, abortion, all the things that are ruining the families. You fucking got what you wanted. Because even though Donnie Trump isn't even in the White House right now, the implications of his presence in the White House are still being felt. You fucking got what you wanted in the end. All of you pro-lifers, all of you conservatives, all of you bootlicking Trump, and you know who else is just as implicit? All of you fucking people who consider yourselves to be Democrats or on the left and continue to elect establishment hacks who push for incremental change because that's the only kind of change that they're ever going to be able to get through in the United States with this current system. What this has shown is that this system is irreparably flawed. So when you come to me and tell me I was overreacting, I say go fuck yourself and learn how to critically think. Maybe crack open a book once in a while. Roe v. Wade, since 1973, the law of the land, right? 4 of those justices at their hearings, when 4 of the justices who voted to overturn Roe v. Wade said, when they were being confirmed, it's the law of the land. As far as I'm concerned, Roe v. Wade is the law of the land. Just to when it came turn, when the timing was right, when all of the right ingredients came into place, just to, well, I mean, maybe it's not the law of the land after all. Maybe it's not the will of the people after all. You know that thing that used to fucking count for something in the United States of America, the will of the people? Now the United States is under minority rule. How do you all feel about that? And if you're somebody on the right who's reveling in this right now, who thinks this is just the greatest thing in the world, that all those dead babies are going to grow up to be, as George Carlin said, dead soldiers when you're rah-rahing them in the next big major war that America is in. Let's say in 20 or 30 years, just big fucking pipe dream, all the establishment politicians, like especially Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these people finally die and get out of the way because they've done nothing for America ever for any, 20, 30 years from now, SCOTUS looks a little bit different. Or maybe by this point it had been abolished. I mean, in a perfect world, one can dream. But let's just say it's 7 leftist judges and just a couple of crusty conservatives who are just kind of there as, ornamentally, right? And they decide that the Second Amendment isn't something that we need anymore. Look at all the mass shootings. Look at the way that all these militias misinterpret the Second Amendment for their agendas so they can go out and be wannabe cops. Look at all of these things, and we've decided the Second Amendment, it's cool. And I understand. I don't want a bunch of fucking lefties coming here with, I am a lefty myself, but coming here and talking about how Marx and D.R. I just don't fucking like guns, and I don't fucking think they have any place in civilized society. You can't change my mind on that. Let's just say they come after the Second Amendment. I know that there would be people on the left who would be up in arms, but you know who would be the loudest? You know who would be the most furious? You know who would be causing the second fucking insurrection at the Capitol, or the third, or the fourth? It would be the nut jobs on the right. They would be livid. They would be incensed. They would be saying that their will is also being ignored. And they would act. Believe you me, they would fucking act. But that would require your average American conservative to be able to put themselves in the position of another human being and think empathetically. And you're not getting that. There are so many things you are not getting in America. It is too goddamn late. The system is entirely intractable at this point. And how dare you say I was overreacting when things like this were fresh on my mind fucking, what is it now? Like 6 years ago. That he's gonna stack the Supreme Court. And they're gonna come after Roe v. Wade. And they're gonna come after contraception. All the good law-abiding Catholics on the Supreme Court, they're gonna come after contraception. And they're gonna come after gay marriage, too. All of these things. What this shows is that things that these fucking charlatans at their hearings say are the law of the land, that phrase means dick. It means absolutely nothing. The law of the land. This is the law of the land. Maybe, just maybe, human beings being behind the creation of these laws is the fucking problem in the first place. Concentrating all of that power into such a small, esoteric group of people who then go on to make the laws of the land for 300 plus million people. Maybe, just maybe, this whole fucking thing needs to be rethought, but that can't happen until the establishment hacks. I'm looking at you, Nancy Pelosi, and I'm specifically looking at Nancy Pelosi because I used to know somebody who has a friend who is such a big fan of Nancy Pelosi and hates the progressive movement in the United States, and they consider themselves a Democrat. People like you, get the fuck out of the Democratic Party. Go join the fuckers on the right. A new leftist party needs to be established in the United States. A new coalition of leftist parties need to be established in the United States for the sole purpose of protecting the marginalized that are being fucked right now by a SCOTUS that is stacked against their favor. That is against their interests. I hate to sound doom and gloom. I really hate to sound doom and gloom. But you've got lifetime appointees on SCOTUS. You've got a Congress with no term limits whatsoever. You still have an electoral college. You still have gerrymandering and redistricting, and you still have voter suppression. Tell me, why should I be optimistic about the future of America? Did you think that I was one of those leftists that breathed a sigh of relief when Joe Biden was elected? No, because I knew that there was jack shit he was going to be able to do as far as SCOTUS is concerned. Jack shit. Because once that's stacked, game over. And you know who they're going to blame? They're going to blame Joe Biden. Just like everyone on the right blames Joe Biden. You know, it's just, oh. I'm going to go play drums and relax because this took a lot out of me. I'm not surprised Roe v. Wade was overturned. Not in the slightest. It was something on my mind in 2016. And I don't think that anybody who is really honest with themselves, who is on the left and who knows exactly why Donald Trump was elected, I don't think you should be surprised either. I'm not saying you shouldn't fight, but Jesus Christ, you're fighting a Goliath. You're fighting a Goliath that's pumping steroids into its ass cheek Every hour on the hour, getting bigger, stronger, faster. And there's nothing you can do about it. A lot could have been done about it a long ago, but people kept electing establishment hacks who don't give a fuck about them, who don't truly give a fuck about the needs of the marginalized and the super, super poor, or just the poor in general. The lack of progress is a systemic issue that goes beyond the Supreme Court. And they all need to go. All the boomers, all the establishment people who've been licking the boots of lobbyists for years on end, left, right, I don't care where the fuck they consider themselves. That blue wave that people were hoping for in 2018, maybe it needs to be a different color. Because this whole Democrat-Republican thing, when you pair it with the whole Supreme Court justices being on the Supreme Court until they fucking die thing, nothing's going to change. That's not nihilism. It's just observation. It's a fucking sad day. And a day that humans could have prevented, but you know, it's really easy to get comfortable with the establishment. But it's not very bright.